Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Sunset Overdrive, oh boy, I've been wanting to talk about this game for a long time, and I finally have a reason to do so. Music, the world, the gameplay, the jokes, most of them. It's all wrapped up in such an amazing package that the fact that we haven't had a sequel yet should be against the Geneva Convention. Welcome everybody to the second episode of Wide Open Worlds. On the last episode, we spoke about Athia, the open world of Forspoken. Despite pushing my graphics card to the absolute brink, the open world of Athia really didn't have a whole lot in it to offer players. There wasn't much fun to do, and really traversing the world felt like more of a hindrance than it should have. Make sure you check out that video, and while you're at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, and every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard for live streams right here with me. After a rather dismal time with Forspoken, Sunset Overdrive was the palate cleanser that I needed in order to speak about more open world games. In Sunset Overdrive, you play as the player, who is a janitor for the Fizgo Corporation. Fizco? At the pre-launch party for their brand new drink, Overcharged Delirium XT, say that 5 times fast, everyone turns into horrifying mutants after they drink the drink. Why does this happen? Somebody forgot to carry the one. It turns you into a horrifying, grotesque orange monster who just wants to eat everybody around them and slurp up any overcharge that they may happen to find. The main story has you traversing all over Sunset City, befriending the various factions that have taken over the city, and trying to find some way to escape before it is eradicated by Fizco. Since you know the entire town is evidence, Sunset City is, a city. It's packed with buildings, cars, telephone poles, electrical wires, boats, bushes, statues, fountains, and all kinds of other inanimate objects for you to grind and bounce all over. You'll be doing a whole lot of grinding and bouncing. Just like me with your mom. Grinding and bouncing are 2 main forms of traversal in this game, and most of the objects in this city can be grinded or bounced on. You can also swing on things like signs and light posts. You can run horizontally across walls. You can do a slam attack into the ground and bounce yourself back up in the air and dash through the air. There's a lot of different options for what you need to do. Although sometimes the goal is to just get from point A to point B, it's up to you as to how creatively you really want to get there. Being on the ground in this game is pretty much a death sentence because your running speed is really slow and enemies will envelop you in mere seconds if you don't do something to get away from them. And you might be thinking, well, that just sounds like either the game is so fast that it has to play itself a la Sonic Generations, or you're just out of control the whole time and can't control worth dick. Wrong, because this game controls like a dream. And see, the wonderful thing about this game is that all the collectibles in the open world, the toilet paper, the neon signs, the fizzy balloons, and all the quests and side quests you have, all of them somehow make use of one of or all of your traversal abilities. So this game is constantly testing you to make sure that you are grinding when you need to, bouncing when you need to, wall running, to make sure that you always remember all your controls all the time. If you do everything, you will be a master of movement in this game. You have full control over yourself. There is momentum when you're in the air, but you can quickly change direction. You can dash a different way. You can do a dive bomb and then bounce back up to change which way you're going. You have total control over yourself in this. If you die, it is so your fault. Speaking of attacks, you might be thinking, well, if I'm going so fast all the time, how the hell am I supposed to actually hit anything accurately when I'm shooting? And to that I say, if you ask me one more stupid question, I'm going to reach through the screen and rip out your nose hairs. You see, the good thing for us is that Insomniac is incredibly talented at making all kinds of really stupid guns as showcased in their Ratchet and Clank games. So fear not, there is plenty to kill people with in this game. Every weapon in this game either causes some kind of massive explosion or freezes enemies in place, or its main thing is that the projectiles bounce from one enemy to another. almost every single weapon in this game is some kind of crowd control weapon, so it doesn't matter if you're not super accurate, you just kind of have to be pointing in the general direction of your enemy. It's not too snarky about that. Frequently while I was streaming this game, I would just get absolutely lost in the sauce that is the beautiful traversal mechanics in this game. Just getting from point A to point B has never felt better in any other video game, to the point where even chat was mentioning it just randomly, like, God, this game looks so good. Oh God, it's so smooth. Just random, like without any prompt, just, it's so wonderful just to watch it be played, let alone actually play it. I mean, we're talking about a game that is almost 9, or I think it is 9 years old now. It's almost a decade old, and it still looks and plays like an absolute dream. Oh, and it also didn't single-handedly fold the studio that made it. See, one of the best things about the traversal mechanics and the actual world of Sunset City is that even when you screw up, you say you miss a button press, you miss a rail or something, there's always something else nearby that you can zip to, bounce off of, and get back to where you were. Or just, oh, I'll catch myself, I'll wall run, I'll come all the way back around, and then I'll hit that awning, that bounce pad, whatever. There's always something to save you from losing all your traversal progress. It's not like Assassin's Creed where you just like accidentally throw yourself off a building and you die and you gotta wait for it to reload. No, there's something that you can do to keep yourself from going all the way back down to the ground. Always, 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 never fails in this game. And that's because the map is so well made and because the abilities are so well integrated into it. I'm really filleting this game a lot, I'm sorry, but God, it's so good. Even the DLC areas, which you might think would just be an afterthought or whatever, and they're not huge, they're not amazing or anything, but they're plenty fun, they're densely packed with stuff, and I had a good time from when I started the game to when I finished the final DLC. The whole way through, I had a smile on my face. Look, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, and I apologize, but after playing Forspoken, with its stilted, janky traversal, the fact that of all things it had fall damage, this game is just such a breath of fresh air. I swear, if I didn't play this after Forspoken, I don't know if I could have kept going with the wide open world thing, because as fun as it was to talk about Forspoken, the thought of playing another game that stale, all this and the extra objectives that are in the map, the side quests and everything, they're fun. They give you more stuff to unlock things in the game. Like, there's a reason to do them. They benefit you greatly because you can purchase better weapons, you can upgrade your amps, all this different stuff. There's a reason to do everything. Nothing feels like it's just there for the sake of filling in the open world check. Oh, gotta have, these, we gotta have some of that. No, none of that. It doesn't feel like that. Everything is cohesive. It all goes together. It all has a purpose. How is this not more common? Now I know we're specifically talking about Sunset City in the open world, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the overall attitude of Sunset Overdrive, which is essentially 2 giant middle fingers right in your face. It's perfect. The music in the game basically just sounds like a bunch of different garage bands just did a bunch of thrash and threw it together, and there's your soundtrack. And I can't describe it, but it somehow feels sloppy and yet perfect at the same time. Sloppy and perfect. That's a good way to describe the whole game, really. Sloppy but perfect. Not only that, but you see that little style meter up there? That's very important. Not only does it aid you in combat, but it also changes the music. As the meter fills, you are able to hear the different tracks in the song. So it starts with, maybe just the background singers, and then you get the drums, and then you get the guitar, and then you get the full vocals, when the meter fills up all the way. So when you're just zipping around Sunset City, you got the instrumental, maybe you got some background singing, just, it's good, moving music. It keeps you moving. And then when you get an actual fight and the style meter starts filling up, then you get the vocals, and then it starts going all crazy, and it's just, oh man. It's so good. I highly recommend listening to the Sunset Overdrive soundtrack when you've got some time or you're going for a long car ride. I've been screeching all of these songs in my car for the last like 2.5 weeks. I can't stop. The game also doesn't have a balance problem. It doesn't try to overly balance the crap out of everything. You know why? Because it's a single player game. It doesn't need to balance everything. It just needs to make you feel cool when you're playing it. It doesn't need to be hyper balanced. It just needs to be fun. I don't know what this fascination seems to be lately with single player or co-op games where they seem to think they need to hyper balance every little aspect of the game so you never really truly feel powerful. Dude, I'm not here to file my taxes. I'm here to have fun. Just let me have fun. Sunset Overdrive, simply put, is a must play. If there was a Criterion collection for video games, you best believe it would be in there. Nobody really seems to talk about it anymore outside of the occasional video essay, we might get once a year from somebody. I've heard arguments that the jokes are kind of corny, the writing doesn't hold up as well, some things don't age so great, and to some extent, I agree, yeah, there's some epic bacon funny meme stuff in here that's really not funny at all. But for the most part, like 75% of the writing in this game ranges from bearable to pretty funny. And that's pretty good after the last one. Things that aged poorly, well, the main enemies of the game are called the OD, overcharge drinkers, which I get it, makes sense. They drank the overcharge, OD. Get it, got it, got it. But OD, there are real world connotations to that, and making the main enemy in your game the OD,
maybe I'd come up with a different name for the main bad guys.
well, I guess you could argue Fizco are the main bad guys, but still. Play Sunset Overdrive if you can. Even if you hate the story, you hate the characters, and the writing makes you cringe, nobody can dislike the gameplay. If I'm not one to throw punches like this, but if you don't think Sunset Overdrive has good gameplay, if you don't think it's at the very least fun, I think you just have bad taste. Because holy crap, this game is good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If indeed you have made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you ring the bell so you never miss another video, short or live stream from yours truly. I go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with whatever game I happen to be making a video about at that time. I'm also going to take a moment here and thank the wonderful members of my channel that I also affectionately call the Reset Gang. For $2.99 a month, you get a handful of emotes to use in my chat, and I'll be adding more as I get more members, because the more members you have, the more emotes you can make. So, join for that. If you want some emotes to spam in chat, I just made a new one specifically for when we see a muscular woman on screen. I figured this was appropriate, respectful. You'll also get to be a part of the pantheon of epic bacon gamer bros here at the end of my videos. So, a warm thank you to my friends Marut, Blue Hornet 632, Agent Lion, Papa Salvo, Zanzilton, Fusromanda, my wonderful girlfriend Taylor, Hotspur, and I Like Juice. You guys are wonderful for supporting the channel in the way that you do, and I can't wait for more people to join so we can make more emotes and do all kinds of cool stuff together. And make sure you stay tuned for the next video where I